Hello, welcome to this week's video. We're looking at Jamboard. This time around we're looking at the browser-based version. So in the previous video I've looked at the app. This time it's the browser-based version. So we can access it via our Google Apps account by clicking on the 9 dots. And if you click down to more, you can find Jamboard is there. When you open Jamboard in the browser, you can see all of the recent jams that you've created. And if you click on the 3 dots, you can either rename the jam, you can download it as a PDF, or you can delete it. And it gives you a bit about Jamboard and Jamboard help by clicking on the lines in the top left corner. So we're going to open up this Jamboard. Before we do that, if you want to create a new Jamboard, you just click on the plus new jam, and it will create you that Jamboard, and you can edit that one. You can also, if you've got a number of colleagues within your organisation creating them, you can filter as to just jams owned by yourself. You can also sort them A to Z, and you can change the view. So instead of being a grid view, it's a list view, but I prefer the grid view. So we open up a jam. So across the top here we can double click to rename it, just like you would in one of the other Google Drive apps. We can rename it that way. We can download as a PDF. We can save the frame as an image, so we want to use that in a presentation. So it could be a great way of, you're doing some work with your students in lesson, you then want to save that as a frame that you can then add to a presentation which you can share with them as part of a lesson, or just to get a snapshot of what's been done up to a certain point. It's a really useful feature, the save to frame it as image. And then the same as Google Drive, other apps in Google Drive, you can click share. So the default is specific people, so it would be private, accessible only to you, but you can click change and you could say anyone with a link can view, or if you wanted them to collaborate, anyone with a link can edit. You could share that link with your students, and then you've got something which could resemble Padlet in the way that they could all contribute their ideas. So we're looking down the left hand menu now. We can add an image, and you can see we can do a Google image search. We can search for images within Google Drive, or we can look at the photos that you've got. So, and you can select a photo that you want to add. Having added the photos, if you come back to the menu on the left, you can click on the arrow and you can move your images around. You can also adjust the size of the image, rotate the image, and by clicking on the 3 dots you can either duplicate or delete the image. You can also add sticky notes. So your Bond fan, you'll recognise the Aston Martin image there. You can choose the colour of your sticky note, so we can make that blue and hit save. And then just as before, you can use the arrow tool to move that around. So I mentioned it's very similar to Padlet, and it could be used in a similar way. So you may decide that you want to structure your Jamboard in some way, and the use of the sticky notes is a good way to do that. So you could have a number of different headings. And then you could position your headings on your Jamboard where you want students to do something. So it could be, there could be a particular question, and then you could get their responses, and they could respond by adding a sticky note themselves. Having done the share, anyone with a link can edit. So that's adding images and sticky notes. You've then got a pen tool. If you click and hold on the pen tool, you can change it from being a pen to a marker, so it's a slightly thicker stroke, to a highlighter, or to a paintbrush. And what's really good is you can use it either to annotate images, or they can use it to draw. Now I'm finding it, for me, I'm struggling with my mouse, but you get the idea. Below the pen tool, we've got the eraser tool. We can use that. We click and hold on that, we can clear the whole board, or we can just choose that and erase specific parts. So you get the idea. You can rub the bits out that you don't want. So, really valuable tool. Once you've finished populating one area, you can add additional frames so that you've got a second frame to populate. So there you have it, a great collaborative space that you can use with your learners in lessons, or they can use as a way of working as part of a team to flesh out some ideas. And you can see by clicking on those little previews, you can add further frames if you wish. So different frames there, and then we can just, we can click on the arrow, we can go back to our original frame. So I hope you found the video useful. Please subscribe to the channel and join me again soon for more EdTech videos.